to our Wednesday night story time. As you can see, we're in a little bit different place. Mr. Nathan and I are at the beach, so we are bringing a little bit of the beach to you here on our video. I hope you can see a little bit of what we're experiencing. It is beautiful here. We are going to continue on with our stories about our Bible stories that point to Jesus, and tonight we're going to read The 1 O'Clock Miracle, which is another book that we're going to learn about, kind of like last week when we found out who Jesus was, which is Jesus is God, because remember he spoke to the storm. We're going to find out a little more depth to that. Not that story, but just of who Jesus is, okay? So let's get started. Long, long ago, there lived an important man who worked for the king. He was sad and so worried. His son was very ill, so ill he was going to die, and no one could help him. He heard that a man named Jesus was doing the most amazing, wonderful things. He heard that Jesus was making ill people well again. He heard that Jesus was doing things that only God could do. So the man decided to ask Jesus for help. The man and his son lived in Capernaum by the sea, but Jesus was staying in Cana, more than 20 miles away. It was a very long walk and uphill all the way, but the man had decided that he must see Jesus. So he said goodbye to his son and his family, and he set off to see Jesus. Up the hill he walked and sometimes ran because he wanted so badly to see Jesus. The sun went down, the night was dark, and the stars were bright, but the man didn't stop. Huffing and puffing, he walked and sometimes ran, hurrying to see Jesus. The sun came up, the morning arrived, but there was still a long, long way to go. Puffing and panting, the man walked and sometimes ran because he needed to see Jesus. At last, at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, the man reached Cana and the town where Jesus was. He had walked and sometimes run, and now at last he could see Jesus. "Please, sir," he said, "my son is dying. Please come with me. Please make him better." The man knew that if Jesus came with him and touched his son, the boy would be well again. But Jesus just said, "Go." What? Go home without Jesus? After all that walking and even running to get Jesus to come, but Jesus hadn't finished. "Go," Jesus said, and then he added, "Your son will live." The man believed him. Jesus wasn't going to come to the man's home. He wasn't going to touch the boy to make him well, but the man still trusted that what Jesus said was true. Down the hill he walked and sometimes ran because he believed Jesus. The sun went down, the night was dark, and the moon shone brightly. The man felt so tired, but on and on he walked and sometimes ran because he trusted Jesus. The sun came up, a new morning arrived, and still he walked and though his back ached and his legs were very tired. On he walked and sometimes ran because he was so sure Jesus would make his son well. Then, far away in the distance, he saw some men. They came closer and closer. They were his own servants. They must have news, he thought, but what would it be? "Sir," they said, "it's your son. He is alive and he is well again." The man was bursting for joy. "When?" the man asked. "When did he get better?" "Yesterday, at 1 o'clock in the afternoon." 1 o'clock? 1 o'clock? The man replied. Then the man remembered. It was 1 o'clock when he saw Jesus. It was 1 o'clock when Jesus said his son would live, and it was 1 o'clock when his son got better. Jesus didn't need to go and see the boy. He didn't need to walk and walk. He didn't have to run. Jesus simply spoke. And just like that, the boy was better. Wow, only Jesus could do that. And do you know why? Because Jesus is God's son. Happy and smiling, the man walked home, and sometimes he ran to see his son again. Then he told his son and his family about Jesus and how Jesus could do things only God could do. And they all believed in Jesus, God's son. And now that the man's son was well, what could he do? He could smile and he could laugh, he could walk and he could run, and it was all because of Jesus. Wow, isn't that crazy? Last week we heard about Jesus speaking to the storm and the storm stilled, and today we hear about Jesus just speaking to a man about his son being well again, and the man believed his words and he knew that what Jesus said was true, and he took and trusted that, and his son was made well at the exact same time that Jesus said it. It's not like the man had to get all the way home for it to happen. As soon as Jesus spoke, just like he spoke to that storm, as soon as Jesus spoke that the boy would be well, he was well. How awesome is it that Jesus has that much power and that we are friends with Jesus? And sometimes we don't get to hear Jesus like the people of the Bible did, but we get to hear him in a different way, and that's through our Bibles. Because I don't know if you know this, but our Bibles is called the Word of God. So it's how God speaks to us now. That's why we have all our Bible verses each week, which, sorry, I didn't have one ready this week. We kind of got a little distracted with all of the vacation at the beach and stuff, but we will have another one next week for you. We'll see you then. I love you guys. We'll see you on Sunday. Mr. Nathan will do Ridge Runners at 9:45 online, and we'll have Ridge Runners in the gym at First Stone School at 10:30. Have a great week, guys.